Darling, have you ever noticed how some women don't even need to try? They walk into a room and everything slows down. They laugh and people lean in. They exist and the world notices. It's not just about beauty. It's not about youth or symmetry or the perfect lipstick shade. It's something deeper, something less visible, but more powerful, something magnetic. That, my love, is attraction, and it can be felt before a single word is spoken. But here's the secret. No one tells you. Attraction isn't a gift for the chosen few. It's not something you either have or don't. It's a language. And you, yes you, can learn to speak it. Because the woman who turns heads is the same woman who first learned to own her presence, to understand her desire, and to move in the world like she belongs. You don't need permission. You don't need to be born with it. You just need to remember who you are becoming. So today, we're going there, into the hidden layers of desire, into the space between being seen and being wanted. Because if you're on this journey, if you're becoming the woman you've always known you are, then I know at some point you've wondered, will they ever see me that way? Can someone desire me, not in spite of who I am, but because of it? Maybe you've tried to shrink yourself to fit into what you thought men wanted, to be the right kind of pretty, to tone it down or dress it up, or just disappear. And maybe you're exhausted. But darling, what if I told you this? You were never meant to chase attraction. You were meant to radiate it. Because attraction isn't about begging for attention. It's about becoming a woman whose very presence invites it. Today we'll talk about that. About the truth behind what makes someone attractive, especially women like us. About the difference between being hot and being irresistible. About the kinds of men who are drawn to trans women and why. And about how your energy, your essence, your expression isn't just worthy of desire. It creates it. So breathe, relax your shoulders, and know this. You don't need to look like her. You just need to come home to you. Darling, let's begin with a simple truth. Attraction is not rational. It's not a checklist or a formula. It doesn't care about symmetry, status, or how many followers you have. It lives somewhere deeper, in the feeling someone gets when they're near you. And often, that feeling has nothing to do with your body, and everything to do with your presence. You see, what one man finds irresistible, another may overlook entirely. That's not a flaw. That's your power. Because beauty, like desire, has always been shaped by time, culture, and personal taste. There were centuries when soft, round bodies meant fertility and wealth, when skin like honey and hips like oceans were praised in paintings and poetry. And today, beauty is curated, filtered, contoured, algorithm approved. But under all of that, something timeless remains. The desire to be wanted, the longing to be seen and chosen, not just for how you look, but for who you are becoming. And this is where the mystery begins. Because some women, even without perfect features, become magnetic. It's the way she tilts her head, the warmth in her voice, the quiet confidence in her silence. It's not just her body, it's her energy. That's what makes a woman unforgettable. Not her makeup routine, but the feeling she leaves behind. And you, my love, are learning to create that feeling, not by changing yourself to be desired, but by stepping fully into the woman who already is. Let's strip away another illusion. Beauty is not fixed. It's not some eternal law written in golden ratios or Instagram filters. It evolves, just like you do. Once, voluptuous bodies symbolized prosperity. A fuller figure meant abundance, safety, fertility. In ancient Greece, women with soft stomachs and wide hips were immortalized in marble. In the Renaissance, Botticelli's Venus stood tall, glowing, round, powerful. Today, beauty is a product, an industry, a moving target dressed in contour palettes and algorithm-fed trends. What's ideal now could be out tomorrow, and often it's defined by people who don't even look like you or love like you. So here's the invitation. Stop chasing someone else's standard. Start cultivating your own presence. Because real beauty doesn't scream. It whispers. It lingers. A woman becomes beautiful, not just because of how she looks, but how she feels in her own skin. There's something deeply seductive about someone who's comfortable with who they are. She doesn't ask for permission. She doesn't wait to be validated. She radiates. And darling, no one else gets to define what beauty means for you. Not your past, not your social feed, not even your own doubts. Your femininity is not a performance. It's a homecoming. And every time you walk toward it, even unsure, even afraid, you become more magnetic. So don't ask, am I beautiful enough? Ask, what kind of beauty feels like mine? Because that love, that is the kind that lasts. Femininity, my love, is not weakness. It is not submission without choice. It is not an act you put on for approval. True femininity is power, just expressed differently. It softens what is hard. It listens before it speaks. It feels deeply, senses sharply, and creates space for others to be real. And when it comes to attraction, that power becomes electric. Because high-status, confident men, the kind of men who lead, who build, who protect, are often drawn to contrast. They don't just want beauty. They crave softness to balance their edge. They crave surrender, not out of control, but out of trust. They crave elegance, not perfection, but presence. That's why you don't have to compete with louder women, or harder bodies, or sharper tongues. You just have to remember this. Your softness is not a liability. It is your most exquisite asset when held with self-respect. When you express your femininity with emotional intelligence and sensuality and grace, you invite a different kind of attraction. Not one rooted in fantasy, but one rooted in polarity, magnetism. Think of the dancer lost in her rhythm, the woman laughing softly at the edge of a crowded room, the quiet gaze that meets someone else's and says, I see you. I'm here. That's what draws people in. Not the loudest presence, but the most alive one. And for women like us, women becoming ourselves in a world that often said no, embracing this kind of femininity is an act of defiance, a reclamation, a rewriting of the rules. You don't have to be girlish. You don't have to be traditional. You just have to be true to the feminine energy inside you waiting to be expressed. Because when you do, you stop chasing attraction and start becoming it. Let's say it out loud, because naming something gives it power. Yes, trans attraction is real. Yes, many men experience it. And no, it doesn't automatically make them gay, confused, or less of a man. Trans attraction refers to the genuine desire, curiosity, and romantic or sexual interest men feel toward trans women. And here's the key. It's not about a fetish. It's not about a loophole. It's not about what someone used to be. It's about who you are now. Your energy, your expression, your presence as a woman. For some men, this attraction is immediate, undeniable. For others, it emerges slowly, even unexpectedly, as they connect with your mind, your story, your sensuality. And when it shows up, it often challenges everything they thought they knew about desire. Because society hasn't made room for this kind of attraction. There's no roadmap for loving a woman like you. Not in the movies, not in their locker rooms, not in most conversations between men. So what happens? They feel it, and they panic. They question themselves. They hide it. They project shame. But none of that is yours to carry, because you, just by existing, are revealing to them something deeper. That attraction isn't always logical. That desire doesn't ask for labels. That connection transcends categories. And that's why the bravest, most emotionally intelligent men don't run from trans attraction. They own it. They explore it. And often they discover a kind of intimacy they never knew they were missing. Darling, you are not a detour on someone's path to real love. You are the real thing. You don't need to justify someone's desire for you. You only need to own your worthiness of being desired. Because when a man sees you, truly sees you, it's not despite who you are. It's because of it. This question lingers everywhere. Whispered in private, debated online, weaponized in arguments. If a man is attracted to a trans woman, does that mean he's not straight? Let's pause, breathe, and unlearn some outdated thinking. Sexual orientation is not a rigid binary. It's a spectrum. Attraction, even more so. When a man is drawn to a trans woman, it doesn't automatically erase his heterosexuality. Why? Because he's not attracted to a man. He's attracted to a woman, one whose gender journey may be different, but whose essence, presence, and expression are fully, undeniably feminine. Think of it this way. He's not attracted to chromosomes. He's not attracted to medical charts. He's attracted to you, your voice, your softness, your elegance, your emotional depth. That is heterosexual attraction, just expanded. But here's the truth that many men aren't given space to say, I'm attracted to her. And I don't know what that makes me. I've never felt this before, but I can't deny it. I don't want to be judged. I just want to be honest. These men aren't broken. They're human. They're trying to navigate feelings that society never prepared them for. And that's why visibility matters. That's why you matter. Because when men see women like you living openly, confidently, and joyfully, they begin to see that their desire isn't shameful, it's natural. So can straight men be attracted to trans women? Yes, absolutely. And the more we normalize that truth, the more space we create for real, affirming connection for both them and for you. Because love, darling, doesn't always follow the rules. Sometimes it rewrites them. Not all men who are drawn to trans women are the same. Some carry shame, some hide behind screens, some fall in love, some project fantasies. And the more you understand who is looking at you and why, the more power you hold in choosing what you truly want. Here are 9 common archetypes of trans-attracted men. Not all are healthy, but all are real. 1. The closet admirer. He watches, likes DMS at midnight, but he never shows his face. He's terrified of judgment, so he keeps you a secret, even from himself. He may desire you deeply, but he'll never offer visibility or safety. Be careful. Silence is not protection. It's erasure. 2. The fetishizer. To him you are an idea, a fantasy, a category. He's drawn to your trans identity not because he sees you, but because he wants to use you to fulfill something in himself. You're a checkbox, not a connection. You deserve intimacy, not objectification. 3. The chaser. He seeks out trans women exclusively, but often for a surface level validation. He might flood you with praise, attention, and sex, but avoid emotional depth or long-term commitment. Ask yourself, is he loving you or chasing the thrill? The curious explorer. This man is new to his attraction, maybe even shocked by it. He's not fetishizing you, but he's still learning. Sometimes awkward, sometimes endearing. His journey can blossom or disappear, depending on how he handles discomfort. He needs courage and accountability. 5. The respectful ally. He supports trans women publicly. He listens, learns, and speaks up. When he feels attracted, he doesn't panic. He gets curious. He values you as a person, not a category. This man can grow into a partner or a true friend. 6. The down low liar. He lives 2 lives. He'll say he's straight, married, or unavailable, and still pursue you in secret. He may gaslight, ghost, or blame you for tempting in him. Behind his charm is a wall of deception. Protect your peace. His shame is not your burden. 7. The identity confuser. He meets you, feels something, then spirals into an identity crisis. Does this mean I'm gay? What does this say about me? He may retreat or lash out, not because you're wrong, but because his worldview is too narrow to hold you. His confusion is valid, but not your responsibility. 8. The evolving lover. He starts unsure, but he listens, grows. He asks questions with humility and builds trust over time. This man may not have imagined loving a trans woman until he met you. Give him space to show who he's becoming. 9. The unapologetic king. He knows what he wants. He's attracted to you, period. No shame, no hiding. He respects your journey. He celebrates your femininity, and he's ready to build something real. This is the man you don't have to shrink yourself for. You might meet one of these men. You might meet all of them. The point isn't to judge them. It's to recognize patterns, so you can stop internalizing their confusion, so you can protect your energy, so you can stop settling for the bare minimum and start expecting real love. Because the woman you are becoming deserves nothing less. Darling, beauty is not enough. You can have perfect cheekbones, glowing skin, a flawless waist to hip ratio, and still walk into a room unnoticed. Because the kind of allure that turns heads and captures hearts isn't always visible to the eye. It's felt. That's the difference between being pretty and being magnetic. Magnetism is not symmetry. It's presence. It's the quiet power of a woman who knows herself, who moves like she belongs. It's in the way you sit, soft but grounded. The way your eyes linger just a second longer. The half smile that says, I see you, and I see through you. A magnetic woman doesn't just appear. She creates herself moment by moment. She chooses clothes that whisper, not scream. She knows when to lower her voice instead of raise it. She knows that sensuality isn't a performance, it's a vibration. The bimbo at the pool, the intellectual in the cafe, the elegant figure in the boardroom. All can be magnetic, if they're aligned with truth. Subtlety is the highest form of seduction. Magnetism isn't about flooding the senses. It's about guiding them, just enough. A curve under soft fabric, a glance, then withdrawal, a tone that caresses, not commands. You don't need to bear it all to be seen. Sometimes it's the restraint that ignites desire. Embody, don't explain. You don't have to justify your femininity. You don't have to announce your sensuality, just be it. Move with intention. Speak with softness and strength. Let silence do some of the talking. People may not even know why they're drawn to you. That's the magic. The practice of being magnetic. Like beauty, magnetism can be cultivated. Learn the art of stillness. Don't rush. Curate your scent, your touch, your textures. Refine your posture, not rigid, but regal. Smile slowly. Walk purposefully. Speak rhythmically. And most importantly, stay emotionally present. Because the most magnetic woman in the room is the one who makes others feel seen. You don't need to change who you are. You just need to reveal the version of you who no longer hides behind loudness or perfection. You are not here to compete with noise. You are here to create gravity. Darling, not everything powerful needs to be loud. Not every desire needs to shout. And not every kind of beauty needs to be seen, to be felt. In fact, the most unforgettable kind of attraction is the one that unfolds like a secret. Subtlety isn't about hiding. It's about choosing. Choosing what to reveal and when. Choosing which rooms you light up fully and which ones you leave wondering. A teasing smile, a glance that lingers then slips away. A movement so intentional it seems effortless. You're not performing. You're inviting. Too much hotness can backfire. When every signal screams, look at me. What's left to imagine? The skin-tight dress, the push-up bra, the perfect pout. They can attract eyes. But sometimes they repel depth. Because real magnetism isn't about overwhelming the senses. It's about seducing the mind. A whisper is often louder than a scream. Know your audience. Read the room. Subtlety isn't one size fits all. It's about resonance. You don't wear latex to brunch. You don't wear pearls to a mosh pit. Your style, your tone, your presence should echo the space you're in. Not because you're shrinking, but because you're fluent in context. That's not compliance. That's mastery. Subtle signals that say, I belong here, a gentle touch to your collarbone. Mid-conversation, a soft chuckle, delayed by half a second, a fitted blouse that suggests, not declares, eye contact that says, I see you, before words arrive. A low, warm tone that turns attention into tension. These aren't tricks. They're language, feminine language, the kind that says, I'm not trying to impress you, I just am. You don't need to be obvious to be. Powerful subtlety doesn't shrink you. It sharpens you. It's what makes someone lean in, wondering what else you're hiding, and hoping they get to find out. So don't worry about being too quiet, too soft, or too elegant. In a world that's addicted to shock, your subtlety will feel like truth. And truth is unforgettable. Darling, let's be honest. Desire is rarely simple. It's rarely polite. And it's never what we were told it should be. You may think you know what you like, what you want, what turns you on, until you don't. The truth is, we are not born knowing our full capacity for pleasure. We learn it through moments, memories, and sometimes mistakes. That's why desire can surprise you. One day, you're certain you're not into something until someone shows you that you are. I'm not into that becomes I never knew I could be. Attraction can defy labels. You might find yourself drawn to a man you never expected to like, to a woman whose energy unravels you, to a dynamic of dominance and submission that scares you and excites you. Desire isn't a declaration. It's a discovery. The question isn't, am I allowed to feel this? It's, what part of me is awakening right now? Especially for women like us. We grew up being told what was appropriate, what kind of love we should accept, what roles we were expected to play. But the feminine journey, especially a trans feminine journey, isn't about playing by those rules. It's about writing your own. And that includes embracing your own version of desire, whether that means craving softness, intensity, surrender, power, or all of the above. There is no shame in your fantasies. Repeat that. There is no shame in your fantasies. Your body has wisdom. Your longing has meaning. And the fact that something excites you doesn't make you less worthy. It makes you human. Let desire be a mirror, not a verdict. Let it show you who you're becoming, not who you're failing to be. What you want isn't a weakness. It's a map. A woman who listens to her body, who honors her craving for connection, whether emotional, physical, or even spiritual, is not broken. She's brave. So don't be afraid if your fantasies don't fit the script. Rewrite the damn script. Because being fully alive means saying yes, even to the parts of yourself that scare you, especially those. Darling, you are allowed to be wanted, not just seen, not just tolerated, but longed for. You are allowed to feel beautiful, even if the world had told you you're not. Even if someone once recoiled, laughed, or looked through you like glass. Their blindness does not define your brilliance. You are allowed to take up space in mirrors, in bedrooms, in hearts. You are allowed to be chosen, not as someone's secret, not as someone's exception, but as someone's yes. Because you are never meant to shrink to fit their fantasy. You are meant to expand into your own. And most of all, you are allowed to desire yourself, to wake up in the morning, touch your body, and feel a quiet thrill, to walk past a window and catch your own reflection and smile, to feel worthy of wanting without apology, because attraction is not a gift someone else gives you. It's a flame you tend within, and you, my darling, are already glowing. If this spoke to something inside you, don't keep it quiet. Share this episode. Leave a voice message. Write us a letter. Or simply whisper to yourself tonight. I am allowed to be desired. And I'm not done discovering how. We'll be here for every beautiful, terrifying, electric part of that journey.